Welcome to The Grounded Leader, Ayurvedic wellness for leaders who want to succeed from a place of balance. A podcast where ancient practices meet ambitious goals to help you operate with strength, clarity, and grounded intention. I'm your host, Shweta Vikram, an Ayurvedic doctor, trauma informed yoga teacher, award winning author, mindfulness coach, corporate wellness speaker, adjunct professor, and a lifelong student of what it really means to lead with clarity, purpose, and peace. Each week, we'll explore holistic wellness, how to excel in authentic leadership, and live with balance and purpose. Let's dive in. Hi, friends, and welcome back to The Grounded Leader. I want to talk about something we don't often make space for in professional life, something that feels heavy and yet transformative: grief. Now, before you think this isn't for me, I want to gently challenge that because grief isn't just about death, it's about any loss that shakes your sense of self, the end of a relationship, losing a job, a betrayal, a diagnosis, or even a season of life that's ending. It's as universal as it is deeply personal. And for those of us in leadership roles, it's often invisible, hidden beneath meetings, metrics, and the pressure to show up strong. But here's the truth: you can't lead well if you don't live well, and you can't live fully without making space for grief. So today, I want to share a very personal story with you. And I also want to talk about how grief, as unmooring and painful as it is, can become a catalyst for profound personal growth. And yes, even more grounded, compassionate leadership. Take a deep breath with me. This is one of those conversations that asks us to slow down. My story: losing my anchor. See, way back in March, I did an interview with a yoga therapist where we spoke deeply about grief. And she said something that stayed with me. Your father sounds like such a progressive man, Shweta. She was right. My dad was unlike anyone I knew. Unlike most South Asian parents, he never asked me to become a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. He said grades mattered. Yeah, money mattered, because life is real after all. But you know what mattered most? Being a good human being, relying on yourself for sustainable joy, sharing what you have with others, doing good in the world. My father was my safe space, my anchor, my biggest cheerleader. When he died, it wasn't just the grief of losing my last surviving parent, it was the grief of losing the one person I turned to for recharge, the one who held a mirror up to the best parts of me. And here's something grief doesn't warn you about: it changes your relationship with everything, with places, with people, even with yourself. India, my second home, my heritage, suddenly felt foreign. Who was I going back for? If home is where the heart is, part of my heart was cremated with my dad's body. And yet, within all that heartbreak was a question I didn't expect. Now what? So, what is grief really? Here's what I've learned: grief doesn't have neat edges. It's not five stages you tick off like a to do list. It's sadness and anger and guilt and numbness and sometimes relief. It's crying one moment and laughing at a memory the next. It's deeply individual. And for leaders, it's even trickier. We are conditioned to perform strength, to power through, to compartmentalize. But ignoring grief doesn't make it disappear. It makes it leak out in other ways. Think irritability, disconnection, decision fatigue, even burnout. So let me ask you, where are you holding grief in your body, in your calendar, in your leadership? I know this sounds paradoxical, but grief has been one of my greatest teachers. It forced me to ask scary but necessary questions. Who am I without the people I've lost? What truly matters? Who deserves my energy? And for those of us leading teams or companies, this matters. Grief can actually deepen emotional intelligence. It makes us more compassionate. It helps us notice what's performative versus what's authentic. It reminds us that people aren't just resources, they're humans with whole lives just like us. When you lead from that place, you create psychological safety. You build cultures of care. You set a new standard for what strong leadership really looks like. So, how do we begin to turn this pain into growth? Here is what I share with my grief coaching clients: therapeutic support. Whether it's therapy, grief counseling, or coaching rooted in Ayurveda, having someone walk with you through the dark is invaluable. Creative expression, journaling, dancing, painting, not for Instagram, but for you. Routines that ground you. Think meditation, gentle yoga, cooking, mindful walks, not the old routines tied to what you have lost, but the new ones that help you anchor. Goal setting, small, achievable steps towards reimagining your life. Even tiny ones count. And here is a big one: community. Grief makes us want to isolate. And yes, solitude has its place, but connection heals. Whether that's grief groups, volunteering, or simply opening up to a trusted friend, don't underestimate the power of being witnessed in your pain. So, in the final reflections, here's what I want you to know: grief doesn't go away, it ebbs and flows. It visits you at unexpected times, during a work presentation, at a holiday party, in the quiet of your morning coffee. But it doesn't just break you, it remakes you. And as leaders, as humans, we have an opportunity to let grief soften us, not harden us, to lead from empathy, to give others permission to be whole, grieving, healing humans at work and beyond. So if you're listening and grieving, you're not alone. You are not broken, and you don't have to grieve or lead in silence. Thank you for being here for this tender, necessary conversation. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear they are not alone. And if you're navigating grief and want support, I offer one on one grief coaching rooted in Ayurveda and trauma informed practices. You can learn more at my website, which is www.shwetavikram.com. When I lost my father, I didn't just lose a parent. As I said earlier, I lost my safe space, my anchor, and my sense of normal. My book, The Loss That Binds Us, was born from that experience. It's part memoir, part guide, an exploration of how grief shapes us, connects us, and ultimately how we can learn to live alongside it without being consumed by it. If you felt the weight of loss or wanted to better support someone who has, this book offers a compassionate, culturally grounded, and deeply personal path forward. I'd love for you to read it. You can order your copy where books are sold. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review The Grounded Leader. It helps us keep having these real human conversations. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, your vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's your greatest strength.